Hello everyone, I'm AussieJTV back with some more Castle Morihisa action and actually recording this straight after the previous episode. So for those that haven't watched it, we just cleared the first area with a very interesting samurai tactic based deck, which is a bit slower. You're playing the patient game just to ramp up your armor and your strength every turn and then deliver devastating barrages of attack to the enemy. I'm really excited for this deck. It definitely seems a lot more promising than the first time we played Samurai. And it's akin to like a Slay the Spire, Whirlwind, Strength Build, Demon Form deck, if that means anything to Slay the Spire watchers. At the end of the last episode, I did say I had quite a lot of talent points, but I was going to wait till the start of this episode to buy them. And I had a look around in between episodes just to see that we definitely see what we definitely wanted, basically. Sorry, I can't get my English out today. And basically, what we want at the moment is we want Striding Step to increase our action point cap by 1. We want Unstoppable. When you kill an enemy, excess damage will instead damage a random enemy. And we want Fighter. For each 3 attack cards played on the same turn, gain 1 strength. I'm actually going to prioritize getting the extra action point because I think it will be the most useful, even though proper usage is at the moment completely useless for our character. And then I'll build us into getting Fighter. In fact, I'm going to wait one more fight, I guess, until I get 260 gold, and then probably gain these 3 talent points and pick Fighter up straight away, and then go for Unstoppable. Because at the moment I'm thinking, the more action points we have and the more strength we can gain, the better. And let's see who we're going to pick up as our Fallen Hero. We don't have any Disrupt cards. I mean, I guess enemies give them to us, so maybe this is a way to get our Void Synergy impact. Or we discard and draw. Or on the enemy's next turn, any enemy that attempts to attack you will instead attack a random enemy. I only get Kabayakawa Hideaki, mainly because, you know, I feel like if we're trying to build up, we might have a couple of turns at the start where we're not really doing as much defense or as much attack. I mean, like 15 damage out of the gate. As you can see, based on what we're going to do here, we're not going to get that much defense, even if we play all our cards. So Fighting Spirit, we already have a talent that's going to reduce the cost of one of our tactics by 1, so that makes that free. So we're just going to play our whole hand here. And it's not a bad setup. Obviously, taking 9 damage on the first turn is not ideal. But now we should hopefully not take any damage going forwards. So I'm just thinking how we're going to do this. We're going to parry first. And we could either play Tiger's Fury or just keep Rampaging. Honestly, Rampage is going to be so much better for us. So let's deal 40 damage. And this is the reason I want, what did I call it? Unstoppable, was it? Yes. Because if we have a big Rampage, if we, let's say we overkill one enemy by 20 damage, that's 20 more damage that's going to be dealt to the next enemy and hopefully make it really easy to get the kill. Let's just play all our cards. Just a reminder, we have a talent that means we deal 3 damage every time we put up block. So it's always worth putting up block even if the enemy's not dealing damage to you. And case in point, I forgot that they had a counter of themselves there. Now, we could go for Great Offense because we're sort of saying we're going for a tactics deck, and gaining Retaliate's not a bad thing. But I think we're going to have to go for Power Chop here. It's a shame it's not upgraded, but this is the card I was talking about most of the time through the last episode where, we're a strength-based deck. If we can get some Power Chops, we can start dealing massive damage. Now we just need to work out how to upgrade it. Probably is best to go to a campsite or something like that. I'm also going to pick up those 3 talent points. We actually get even more than 3. If I remember, we've got something. What is it that we have? Gain 1 extra talent point, this Rice Hat. So we actually gain 4. And then we will pick up, what did we say? We're going to pick up Fighter first, I think. Yeah, let's pick up Fighter first, and then we'll be picking up Unstoppable next. I just thought we got full defense. We can upgrade a card. I think, our best bet is actually just to upgrade our parry. It's the one that we're going to want to use the most. It's a shame it doesn't draw 2. That would be amazing for us, but probably a bit overpowered. And do we want anything else? I know we were thinking about potentially picking up Giant Slayer at some point, but I'm going to wait until after we've got Unstoppable for that, especially because we're not going to be fighting a boss quite yet. And I'm just going to go straight in for a Relic. I honestly think a Relic's got to be better than a question mark in general. Ooh, gain 7 talent points and 1 special curse card. So we've not had any of these special curse cards yet. So let's have a look at what they are. I've not actually seen these. So Yokai, at turn end, you take 1 damage for each card in your hand. This doesn't sound too bad for us because we've got quite a lot of action points. I'm hoping we can get our hand down to like 0 cards basically, or 1 because I guess we can't get rid of the Yokai. So, not ideal, but not the worst. And we've got a ton of talent points now, which is very good. Might as well pick up that. I'm not going to rush to get, Giant Slayer. I might get David, recover 10 health upon starting an elite battle, and then start going for more and more elites, because we should have enough to buy that after this fight, to gain 1 at the end of every turn. And look at this. These enemies don't scare me too much. I mean, 18 damage straight off the bat is not ideal, and I don't think we can stop it. I'm wondering if we might do something here, because it's quite a lot of damage. I mean, or we do 28 damage. I guess just using this is going to kill everything apart from the one guy. And then this will be an interesting test. Oh, of course, because we have Unstoppable, that was a complete kill. Easy, that was a turn 1 victory. If we can do more of that, I'll be very happy. None of these are going with our current build, so I'm gonna skip. I'm gonna try and force myself to be more into skipping. You know, the more we skip, the better is my world. We've got a very slim, good deck, and I'm gonna pick up that David and gain 10 health as we fight this elite. So we should be on 60 health on starting the fight. There we go. For a second I was like, did something go wrong? Did I not know how this works? And we haven't seen this guy before, this heretic priest. We've seen these heretics before, but not him. He does look scary. I don't know how he sees out of this. You gotta think, sometimes people's fashion accessories border on the insane. You know, especially in games. Obviously you often see the, you know, let's dress men in ridiculously bulky armor and let's dress women in very scantily clad, which has its own set of problems. But also this, I mean, you can't see anything out of this, let's be honest. I mean, this guy gets what's going on. He's the only one that's sane out of all these. He's like, I've got a mask, I'm about to either kill or be killed in a fight to the death. I need to be able to see first. That's the main thing. So I think this is gonna be our first turn and it's probably gonna play itself. I think we are gonna probably use our stun this turn, just so that we don't take any damage. And then play the rest of our cards. I'm going to focus our damage on the Heretic Priest because I'm hoping we can just get, you know, a massive, rampage across on the enemies. And this is quite a lot of damage again. I guess maybe I should be splitting it a bit more, but we'll take the damage for now. I don't mind. We've got quite a lot of passive healing. I don't know what this is. We'll lose 10 health and grant all allies +2 strength. Okay, that's not ideal, but I guess we can't really do much about it. And I'm just thinking, I mean, we could try and kill them. That's one option. I mean, we could go Katana Slash into Tiger's Fury. That's 22 damage plus 9. That's still nowhere near killing. Do we want to block? I mean, 3 armor just seems so uninspiring, I'll be honest. I think I'm just going to rampage. You know, we'll take a bit of damage this turn, hopefully heal it up over the next couple of rounds. I'm not too worried. We just need to draw another rampage here. So 12 damage 5 times. How much damage? Can I do maths? I'm going to try and be a bit slower. I think some people have said in my previous videos that I speak so fast and go through my decisions. A, I make more mistakes that way, but also I feel like it's hard to follow while watching. So in total, this is going to do 60 damage, which is good, which will kill both of these. And, sorry, it will do 60 damage to each enemy. So normally that wouldn't kill this last guy because he's got 84 health, but because we've got Unstoppable, all the bonus damage on these two will go on to the Heretic Priest. So basically 36 extra damage from this guy and 39 extra damage on this guy will go on the Heretic Priest. So basically this is a kill, if I've done my maths right, just because a ton of Unstoppable damage. No? Why is that? So when you kill an enemy, excess damage will instead damage a random enemy. I think the logic is, and this is good that we learned it now rather than in a boss fight, is the subsequent, oh sorry, pressed the wrong button there. The subsequent attacks of Rampage didn't hit those enemies because they were already dead, if that makes sense. So basically, you know, they only took the 1 hit of 12 damage, that killed them. And if there was any excess there, it would do it. So let's say it had 6 health, it did 6 more damage. Then the second act of Rampage did nothing because the enemy was already dead, which is sad for us, but we will survive. I was thinking maybe we'll get, oh no, without using a single tactic card, that's not going to happen. Why not buy 1 card from the shop during this adventure? Let's see if we can get anything good here. I mean, we're not really going for a Sakurai deck, but drawing cards aren't bad, but I guess this isn't really useful draw, so I'm not going to bother with any of these again. First Strike, I guess, is the closest that we'd want, but doesn't seem to be doing us too many favors. Do we want anything from here? And we could go for another Fighting Spirit. That's sort of what I've been thinking of in the back of my head. But at what point does our deck become so full of tactics that it's a problem? I'm going to do it. Why not? Worst comes to worst, especially because it gets upgraded, it only costs 2. Worst comes to worst, we're going to have some turns where we just draw a load of tactics and therefore can't properly put up defense and things like that. But we do have our Kobayakawa Hideaki for that. It's a shame that we got all items in the shop are 20% cheaper straight after that, but you know, not the end of the world. I'm just thinking if there's any other like passive healing that we could pick up before we do this elite fight. I don't think there's going to be, but I'll just have a quick look. Turn end, deal damage to a random enemy equal to your remaining card hands. Not going to be too helpful right now. Whenever you inflict whenever an enemy dies, draw a card. That's not too bad. I mean, we've almost got all of the cards that I really care about here. Whenever your hand is empty on your turn, draw 1 card. That's probably what we're going to go for. It's a shame that it might draw us through to that curse, but the curse isn't going to do much damage anyway. If we, I just thought we've already bought something, so we can upgrade. I think we're going to we can either upgrade Power Chop, because as I said, this is massive single target damage, or we can buff Rampage to make it even stronger. We already have 1 upgraded Rampage in the deck, so I'm actually going to upgrade Power Chop. Just checking Tiger's Fury because I've not actually seen the card before. Yeah, let's upgrade Power Chop. And I'm going for the elite. My hope is, even though the last elite didn't bear this out, the 10 health we heal is going to be worth more than the amount that we take in this fight. Though it is a shame that we're going against an enemy with ethereal, because it just means all of our massive hits aren't going to do quite as much. So even on the first turn, we're going to take 5 damage. Might as well rampage, because it does 2 damage to the enemy. And maybe rampage isn't too bad. If we have a lot of action points, we can potentially get a lot of damage on the enemy based off that. But it does look like we are going to take a bit of damage in this fight. So overall, maybe we're going to take some. Like over this whole fight, we gained 10 health. We're probably going to have lost maybe 15, but we would have got all the benefits that come with defeating an elite enemy. And it looks like, I'm hopeful we can kill next turn. It should be pretty easy. In fact, we're almost guaranteed it, I think, because we can go, guard, and power chop, because of the fact that we deal damage whenever we put up our guard, gain some more talent points, gain a quest scroll. All of our tactics are already upgraded, so this is useless. Upgrade all defense cards is going to be what we're going to go for. Use armor to withstand 30 damage in a single battle. Not necessarily the easiest thing for us to get, but the other 2 were completely useless to us. And none of these are particularly exciting. I mean, Inner Calm could be good because we don't really have too much armor, but it's an expensive armor. I'd rather the one that's like 16 armor for 3, but doesn't give the other benefits. What did we say we were doing? I literally was just talking about this, but what did we say we wanted in here? If you have remaining action points at turn end, I'll take contingency planning. I don't think this was actually what I was talking about, but it seems like it'll be very good for us. And apart from that, we just want Giant Slayer at some point. I think all these others aren't particularly useful. I mean, whenever an enemy dies, draw a card is probably quite good for us as well. But apart from that, everything's... There was one, I've completely forgotten it, wasn't it? If your hand is empty... There was like, if your hand is empty, here you go. Whenever your hand is empty on your turn, draw 1 card. That's what I meant to buy. Apologies, everyone. I didn't see that. But we'll get there. We'll get there eventually. I mean, we could gain 2 talent points here. I'm going to spend that, gain 2 talent points. And I'm thinking about this vigilance. Yeah, let's get vigilance as well, because once we have that talent, basically, you know, if we empty our hand, we'll start drawing again. So we can use that to discard, empty our hand, and go from there. I think that makes a lot of sense to me. And let's do standard sort of setting up our hand type plays here. We are going to take a couple bits of points of damage. I forgot that he has counter on him, so you just have to be a bit careful with that. And can we kill this turn? No. He's doing quite a lot of damage to us. And this, I don't think is going to work here, because on the enemy's next turn, any enemy that attempts to attack you will instead attack a random ally. Well, he has no allies, so I assume he's just going to attack me. So for now, I'm just going to block. I don't want to use Rampage because it will deal more and more damage to us with this counter up. And wait until a turn like this where I'm like, can I get a kill? 8 times 5, you know, maths. I can't do maths now, is 40, so we're still going to get killed there. Just gain a lot of armor. We're not in a huge rush. I'd rather minimize the amount of damage we are taking and then go to kill him, because I think that's the thing. And I think I said this before, we don't have a lot of defense cards, and that's a problem for us. So I think this turn, we're probably just going to vigilance. It's a bit of a sad. I mean, I guess we might as well guard first, just to deal more damage to him. At least this turn, we're taking no damage ourselves. I wish we got armor at turn start, because that would be much better against the counter. But you know, you live with what you have, I guess. What's going to deal more damage to us? This is going to do 9 damage to us, but it's going to get the kill. So I guess we're going to put up some armor and then take the damage. We do need desperate healing now. It's getting quite important. Let's see what we get. Nothing particularly hit. We could take another vigilance, to be honest. I'm not averse to that. I think we need a bit more defense in our deck now. We've got a lot of plenty strong things as well, and upgrading all of them here is going to be very good for us at the same time. Let's pick up that talent to the death. Whenever your hand is empty, draw a card. And maybe this is the spiral that I keep doing, but I'm going to go for the elite again, because I think that plus 10 health is really keeping us in it. And I'm convinced that at some point, and I saw these creepy babies, don't get me started on them again. I need to look up where they sort of come from sort of Japanese mythology. But for now, let's see if this is in action. So we're going to vigilance, and we're already redrawing, which is really good for us. I'm thinking how fast we're going to gain strength. Is it worth going in on the main enemy, or do we want to start whittling down these ones first? I think we're probably going to start whittling and see where we go from there. So how much damage would we take here? We're currently taking, we got 9 armor plus 6 from our ward is 15. So basically we're going to take 6 points of damage here. Let's use Kobayakawa Hideaki for the first time, and let's just see what it looks like, because we haven't actually tried it out yet. And hopefully all of these guys are hitting each other. Very good, we take no damage. And I guess this is sort of a prep turn for us, but I'm not too averse to it. And we still do some damage, but now we are dealing mad damage. It's a shame we lost power. Was it power cut? Power Chop, sorry. I was going to say Power Cut just feels a bit weak, you know? I guess it sounds a bit like a Pokemon move, doesn't it, with Cut? Power Chop is much more strong and powerful. So I think we're going to play all of our armor cards, to be honest. I'm just a bit scared about taking damage I don't need to, and then whittle down a little bit more. I think the big thing where not that this run went wrong, but where we took a lot of excess damage was thinking that we had it sewn up with that Rampage excess damage combo, which obviously didn't work quite as intended. We can't get a kill here, unfortunately. 36 damage is a lot, though. I guess we're going to go guard. We're probably still going to power chop. I'm wondering if it's best just to take 6 damage off the table. I think it is in this instance, and deal 10 damage to her. So we're actually taking no damage now, which is very good. And we're slowly getting there. I think, would a Rampage kill? 16 times 5? That's 80 damage. He's easily killed. Easily killed. Just click that. Perfect. That was a nice elite fight. I think we actually gained health, or it came out in the wash, basically, because we did take some damage. What can we get here? None of these are healing, unfortunately. Gain 25 armor, choose a defense plus card, add it to your deck, upgrade a skill card, upgrade 2 random cards. I mean, this is going to happen eventually. I'm just going to take that because none of the others are particularly exciting. Is there too much of a good thing? I think there is too much of a good thing. Show the top 3 cards of your library and play all defense cards. Maybe we'll take this instead, actually. I don't think we need more Fighting Spirit. I think we more need an ability to play defense. And worst comes to worst, they go back into our hand. So if we get regular attacks, they'll just go into our hand and we can play them because we'll have tons of action points, or at least that's the plan. I'm going to rest because I feel like we've been playing too close to the chest so far, and then go for a question mark, see what we get. Random skill card or gain a talent point. So, I mean, first we should read this. Cry for help makes you quicken your pace. You come upon a traveling Onmyoji practitioner struggling on the ground. His abdomen has been cut open, his entrails flowing out. This character obviously does not know how to play Onmyoji. If you remember the first time I played it, we absolutely destroyed with the Inferno card. Maybe we should give him that instead. There's no helping him with wounds like these. So I think we want to gain a random skill card. As we've said, we've got most of the talents that we want. Double Your Retaliate is probably not the card that we were looking for. In fact, we're probably going to want to get rid of that as soon as we can. And I'm going to pick up Giant Slayer now while I remember, because before we're going to get to the boss and I'll not have bought it. I'm just wondering if we just remove that straight away. I think we're going to remove it. When am I going to need that card? It just seems completely useful to me. Completely useless, sorry, not useful. And let's go fight the next fight. I think we must be probably getting reasonably close to the boss, unless my sense of time has just been distorted through here. Speaking of the sense of time is distorted in Lordran, I think that's a Dark Souls quote. Is everyone excited for Elden Ring that's coming out in a couple of days? 5 days, I think? I'm debating whether I do pick it up at launch. I absolutely loved Sekiro. I mean, I like a lot of things that are Japanese style inspired. And I did like most of the other games. I don't think I actually ever completed any of them apart from Sekiro. And one of my greatest gaming moments, if only I was a streamer YouTuber back then, was sight reading the last boss of Sekiro. I just went in, beat them, and I was like, oh, I don't see what the problem is. And I looked it up later, and everyone was like, oh, this boss is super hard. And I was like, no sweat off my back, mate. No sweat off my back. This is not a very good hand for us. I might just Vigilance. Vigilance. It means we're just drawing off the top, but I'm hoping that we can get some cards in our hand. I want some of our talents. We're getting no talents. Okay, that's one at least. And then that's another. And then that's... I don't know why I'm cycling through at this point, because I was like, I can't play any talents for 0 anyway. That was really good in the end, so that was definitely the right move. Gain another talent, and I guess we're playing all our cards, just so that Yokai does as little damage to us as possible. It's a shame that gets played before the ward, because that would be really good for us if we could ward first. Probably just going to Vigilance. Now we're going to take no damage, and now we can start going to town. And in fact, we just one-shot. I don't even realise my own strength. That Power Chop is coming in clutch now. Now, I was talking about getting Tortoiseshell. I still think we've got a lot more defense now. I feel like defense is not so much of our problem. And a 24 card deck is already pretty strong. The fact that we've got quick defense though, that will play all our defense cards means I'm going to take Tortoiseshell because it might be, good, easy healing. Even if we don't play it that much from hand, at least we're going to play it somehow. And our favourite Casa Obake. I didn't realise I could have just looked up. I should have just hovered over to see what they were called. Instead of me doing a Google for one-legged umbrella Japanese mythology, that sort of thing. I need to look up what the Hitoban is. Maybe in every episode, if I could tell you something about one of these mythological beings, that would be an ideal way to play the game. Let's quick defense. Seems like we're just doing a lot of drawing. Now we could just go straight in with the Rampage. That's going to do 36, but I think I'd rather Vigilance and do what we did last time, where we just sort of hopefully draw in. I guess this wasn't such a successful way of doing it, but at least we got through more of our decks so we can get to those tactics. And here you go. Here's our tactics turn. It's just a shame that how much is it going to cost us? So I mean, I guess to be honest, that wasn't too bad. And then if we Vigilance for 9 and then Guard. Are we still taking damage? 17? We're taking 21. Okay, so we took a little bit of damage, but that really wasn't that bad. And now we'll just put up all our guards again. end our turn. I mean, we could have potentially played Berserk just to draw through, but I think this was fine. I guess one bad thing about picking up Tortoiseshell, now that I thought about it, is it's going to be much harder to cycle through our whole hand and reset like we have done in the past. 17 damage and 9 damage, that is 26. So we might as well kill the Casa Obake. That has Ethereal, so therefore that doesn't work. That wasn't very clever of me. I'm actually going to use my Kobayakawa Hideaki because of that. Not ideal, but you know, take what you can get, and we'll take a little bit of damage, but not too much. In fact, no we don't, because obviously they're attacking each other. I thought we were going to take a bit more from some of our other attacks. So that's quick defense. See if we can get anything particularly good. I mean, we might as well strike, vigilance, just to cycle through our deck slightly more. And we're definitely killing her this turn. I wonder, it's not going to transition through, so let's just do a regular Katana strike. Her little head's going to pop up, and then we'll just absolutely decapitate that head. I guess we already decapitated it, that's why it fell there, but we, I don't know, cut it in twain, to use some old English. And let's skip through. I'm probably going to rest. I feel like we've got everything we need to win in this run. We just need to, you know, not die stupidly and play it a bit safer. Military strategy, upgrade 2 random tactic cards. Well, would have been good right earlier on in this game, but not particularly useful now. And let's see who we're against. Oh, this guy. This guy's never caused me much trouble, but I do feel like maybe in a slower deck like this, that's where you're gonna get some of that trouble. And I think maybe we just rampage. Yeah, I think we're just gonna rampage. It's a lot of damage, 7 times 7. As you can see, that's over half his health gone and killed the other enemy. It's a shame though that we don't have. Can we kill this turn? 16, no, there's no way we're killing this turn. I guess we're gonna go Iron Senses, Fighting Spirit, Guard, Vigilance, and just see. Not as much defense as I was hoping. Actually, have I been an idiot? Does he lose attack the more you hit him? I wonder if that's what I was seeing there, because he only did 19, and originally at the start of the fight he said 30. So potentially I could have done that just by dealing insane amount of damage instead. But oh well. And let's see what we can do here. I'm pretty sure every time you break the armor, he gets stunned. Maybe that's wrong. Maybe that's probably I've pieced together bits and pieces of this character, and I think it's probably the case that if you attack when he's doing 30 damage, if you attack him, it's going to reduce his damage. If you get it to 0, then he basically does nothing. He gets stunned instead. So that's probably how it works. We might be able to test it here. Let's go Katana Strike. So 22, 14, 6, and then block. Yeah, so basically he does damage equal to his armor, which is not really well shown there, unless I was missing a hover over that I should have looked at. And we don't want any of these. Yeah, let's skip rewards. If there was a way, like, oh, we might actually go for the elite here. I think, why not? We can always heal up at the campsite before the boss anyway, and it's our good old golem. I feel like this guy always causes me a bit of pain, or I always feel like he's causing me a lot of pain, but then when it actually comes down to it, I don't feel like it's too bad. We'll actually use Tortoiseshell for the first time here, and we'll deal a lot of 0 damage. Interestingly, because we're going with a strength build here, they were probably uniquely suited to fight this guy, because Bulwark means he's not going to take any damage on things that are less than 6, but we're going to be passively increasing, so all our cards will almost certainly do more than 6 by the time we get further through our deck. Oh, well, sorry, by the time we've used our strength cards and we get a couple of turns where that's increasing. Like, this is already dealing 7 damage, so it is going to go through. But I think, why do that when we can probably just gain a ton of block? And then we get Rampage anyway. It's a shame that this is going to be the one that does no damage. Maybe we shouldn't have played that, because I just think worst case, we'll miss out on another strength gain. But we're already getting strength gain per turn, so it's not the end of the world. Probably just going to go strike, vigilance, riposte, and then just see if we can draw. I guess gain 3 wards pretty good as well. Any tactic that we can play, especially when we're not taking damage, is going to be good for us. And that's why I'm just going to Vigilance again. Tiger's Fury weakened is not ideal, but not bad. In fact, have we taken any damage yet so far in this fight? Maybe we're going to go with a no damage Golem fight, which would be really good. I think so, to be honest. As long as we don't get like Petrify on our important cards. He's petrified once, so I definitely think if I don't know if any developers will be watching this, but if they are, you need to make Petrify show on the card somehow. I don't know how you would do it, like put a little rock or like fade out, put some like cracks in the card. Maybe a crack through it would look quite cool. It's sort of like petrified rock cracking, because at the moment it's just not very clear that which card you can't play. And especially if he's got other things that he's using on you. For example, you can't play skill cards this turn. You're like, is it my skill card blocked, or is it Petrify? You know, is the Petrify working on a skill card? I mean, it's probably one of those things where actually, if you just spent 5 seconds looking at the cards, you'd know. But I don't have time for that. I just want to play the game. And let's see, we're probably just going to go straight into Rampage now that we've got enough defense. There we go, perfect. And if we get Rampage here, is this just me a kill? 15 times 5? That's 75. Yeah, easily. Perfect. And that's even an unupgraded rampage. We probably should look to upgrade that when we can. I think that's probably definitely the next upgrade target. And what do we have here? I don't mind having... I mean, we're never going to complete a battle without using a tactic card, but restoring 10 health is always good to have in your back pocket. Otherwise, I'm thinking gain 12 armor in a single turn seems like the best bet for us. And I don't want any of these. I think that's fine. Let's skip. Upgrade 2 random cards. Maybe this will get a rampage. Didn't, but Tortoise Shell is going to be a good thing to have upgraded anyway. And we should probably think about buying some talents. In fact, first let's go to the campsite and we'll upgrade. Probably going to upgrade that other rampage, as I mentioned. We've got a ton of talent points here. So all of the ones on the side I don't think actually help us apart from Glorious Retreat. But we can't have an empty hand at the end of our turn because of To the Death. So these are just not synergistic at all. So all of these aren't going to make sense. I think we just want any of the like cheap and easy ones that are going to help us down here. So I guess Siphon Energy is going to be useful. I mean, it's possible. Do we even have 3 skill cards? I think we only have the 1. Let's just double check. Yeah, only 1 skill card. So that's not going to be useful. We can't inflict disarm. And Eureka, I guess we'll take Eureka, even though probably we're only going to have 1 card left in our hand at the end of turn. And maybe we'll start just removing some stuff. That might be the next step. You know, can we remove yokai? I didn't even think about that. We should have done that ages ago. I'm just going to start removing quite a lot of stuff. Well, as much as we can anyway. And let's fight the big boss. I'm trying to think if we've definitely seen the well before, that's for sure. Summon random monsters. Don't think I'm particularly worried about that. I'm actually going to play parry first on the off chance. I'm going to play quick defense. I'm just trying to get tactics to come into my hand while we can. And that worked out pretty well, I would say. And yeah, let's just rampage after that. Just because if we're not taking any damage, this is almost the perfect boss for us to fight. It's just a shame we didn't get all of our tactic cards just then, because that would have been great. And I might just discard again. I'm just going to go for tactics. May not be the best play, but it's definitely not a terrible one. I shouldn't have done that. I even knew that was going to happen. I looked at it and I suddenly like, if I draw the Fighting Spirit, then I'm not going to be able to play it. But so far, this is not going too badly at all. He's doing quite a lot of damage. Let's quick defense. Let's see if we can draw anything particularly good. I mean, we might as well... We could Tortoise Shell and hit. How much is that going to be? 9, 34. Yeah, that's perfect amount of damage not to take any damage. Did I say that's perfect amount of damage not to take any damage? I meant perfect amount of armor. Here we're going to go Fighting Spirit into Iron Sensors. That plays itself. And then we're going to parry. Might as well Vigilance. And of course, that's like the 1 card in our deck that we can't use. But we're not taking any damage, so it's not too bad. And here's where I'm starting to think, let's get big rampages going on. Especially because neither of them are actually dealing any damage to us. So easy turn for us. And that means if we get, well, I guess we're not going to get Rampage next time. Unfortunately, we drew both of them at the same time. But when we next cycle round, we're going to kill this guy. But we might have to kill him here. 34 plus 16, that is 50. We can do 50 with these 2 cards. Just thinking if there's any better way. Can we do it with these 2 cards? No, 34. That's not going to be enough. So I guess we're going to Power Chop. Yeah, Katana Strike into Vigilance. And I take no damage at all. I think there's going to be a boss without any damage taken, which is really good. It means I didn't necessarily need to buy that talent, but who was going to say this is what was going to happen? One day I'll remember to look at when my library is empty and not just play a card that will draw, but obviously can't. And yeah, let's just guard. Probably could have cycled through that. In fact, I couldn't have cycled through before I played that card. It wouldn't have worked. So 100 damage. Insta-kill this guy, doesn't quite kill this guy, we take 2 damage. Well, in the spirit of not taking any damage in this... Wait, hang on, before I think. No, let's just rampage. We'll take a little bit of damage, but it's worth it just to get close to winning this fight. And yeah, easy victory here. 6 damage is nothing in the grand scheme of things. Let's rampage for the win. Seems to be our MVP card in this game so far. And we got Magnify. Gain 30 gold whenever you enter an unexplored area. Actually, unexplored just means whenever you go to a new area. That's a lot, because especially because we want to try and cut cards from our deck. That could be really good. And what are we going to do here? Buy 5 cards from... Does this count cards you've already bought? No. Then it probably wasn't worth us getting. But at turn start, gain 1 temporary Samurai skill card. I mean, I'm thinking we might as well. Or is that just going to make it hard for us to... It's probably going to make it harder for us to cycle through. So I'm not actually going to go for that. I might get this Iaido. I assume that's how that's pronounced. Because we do have... What did we have? We did pick up something here. Did we not? I feel like we picked up something to the void. Here you go. For each card you place in the void, gain 3 armor. It's not much, but at least we've now got some sort of void synergy that we can use. And that will end the episode. So please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. I'll be back tomorrow with the final realm. I'm pretty sure that we're going to win with a samurai here, which would be really good to have another victory on another character. And yeah, let me know if you enjoyed it. And thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.